What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Let Us Pray. I hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day. Smash that like, subscribe button, hit that notification bell, y'all, so you can get these videos as soon as I upload them. This is the Super Bowl 58 recap video, okay? Yesterday's game was so suspenseful. You got Shanahan versus Andy Reid. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, since joining the 49ers, has had his team in the playoffs every season except for one, I believe. Made the Super Bowl twice. NFC Championship game losses twice. And then a loss, I believe, in the first round once. So that's 5 years of playoffs right there. I believe the only year that they didn't make the playoffs was 2020. And that was the year after they lost the Super Bowl. There's this Super Bowl runner-up curse where the team that loses the Super Bowl typically does not play well the next season. That's neither here nor there, though. You had the 49ers facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs, and Kansas City Chiefs almost defying odds, making their Super Bowl run by winning 2 straight road games after, for their standards, a subpar season, even as the defending champions. Looking to repeat, looking to go back-to-back, something that's never been done since the New England Patriots, 2004. The 49ers were looking to get off to a quick start, something they hadn't been doing during the playoffs, and they were able to do so yesterday. After a scoreless first quarter, the 49ers jump out on the Chiefs 10-0 in the second quarter. The Chiefs get a field goal right before halftime, and they go into half 10-3. But the game took some weird twists and turns in that second half. Immediately after the halftime show, after you saw Usher rubbing all up on Alicia Keys and Lil Jon and Ludacris, I mean, he just flashed back to the 90s and early 2000s. I mean, it was a great halftime show. But right after the halftime show was over, Patrick Mahomes uncharacteristically throws an interception. 49ers capitalize on it. Juwan Jennings, out of all the players, Juwan Jennings, he may have been the MVP of the game if the 49ers end up winning this game, right? Juwan Jennings threw for a touchdown. A very, very gutsy play call by Kyle Shanahan. A wide receiver throwback pass from Jennings to Christian McCaffrey ends up in a touchdown in the first half. And then Jennings catches a slant across the middle, breaks a tackle against Kansas City Chiefs' best corner, arguably, L'Jarius Sneed, and breaks a tackle, goes into the end zone, man. But the play that I believe altered the game was that blocked extra point. The blocked extra point was a huge play in the game. It's only 1 point, but that could have pushed the score to a 4-point lead if the Kansas City Chiefs end up scoring, but it only made it a 3-point if the Kansas City Chiefs end up scoring, right? So, you thought the 49ers seemingly had all the momentum, but after that block kick, man, you kind of felt like the Chiefs were holding them at bay, right? Then you get the fumbled punt by my guy number 3 on the 49ers. I can't even remember his name. But the ball hits a leg of one of the 49ers special teamers. punt returner, instead of trying to dive on the ball and secure it, he tries to pick it up, scoop it. Horrible idea. Ends up in the hands of Kansas City, and they come down one play. They score easily. To Marquez Valdez-Scantling. No lie, no cap. I was doing an X Factor video, and my sinuses were all backed up yesterday, and I couldn't even talk. You could probably still hear a little bit of it. But my two X Factors for the game were going to be, for the 49ers, George Kittle. George Kittle had to have a good game for the 49ers to win. It's been up and down all season. I was going to tell you about how he only had 6 touchdowns all season, about 70 receptions. He did have 1,000 yards, but he did a lot of damage in about 3 or 4 games. 3 or 4 games, he had over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. But he's really kind of been below. I mean, he had 11 touchdowns the season before. He only had 6 this year. So I'm thinking, Kittle, man, he got to be a part of this offensive attack. He was practically invisible yesterday. He was invisible. You did not hear George Kittle's name. He got a crucial 4th down conversion in the 4th quarter. But other than that, man, you did not hear George Kittle's name being called at all. At all. I thought that was huge for the Kansas City defense to keep that guy under wraps. And I thought that was a big part of why that San Francisco 49ers offense couldn't fully take advantage of the Kansas City defense, man. They could not free up George Kittle. He's a menace with the yards after the catch, man, and they could not free him up. On the other side, I was going to highlight Marquez Valdez-Scantling. This guy, without Marquez Valdez-Scantling, without MVS, they do not win that game in Buffalo on the road. He made 2 huge catches. 2 huge catches for them to win that game. He's seemingly been open all season long. He can take the top off the defense, but his hands are questionable, right? Drops a lot of passes. Passes that are right, I mean, in the breadbasket, bro. Hit him right in the numbers, hit him right in the hands. And he dropped a lot of passes this season. But he's been playing much better in the playoffs. They needed him. And I said he was going to be an X Factor yesterday in the Super Bowl. He ends up getting a touchdown catch right after the turnover. And it just kind of made me smile. I didn't post my video, though, like I said. So it was kind of a shame that couldn't see that I predicted something like that. But it's all good. It's all good. This game ultimately came down to, I believe, the defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, of the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm going to say this, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass make a move at defensive coordinator. He was under a lot of pressure during the 49ers losing streak earlier on in the season, and you could see Kyle Shanahan was not happy with the defensive play calling in that 4th quarter. 49ers were playing very soft. They had the lead by 3, and they were playing soft coverage, very tentative. They just let the Chiefs pretty much get whatever they wanted up to, 10, 12 yards and get out of bounds. And, I mean, you're just giving them the field goal at that point. You were just giving them the field goal. And there was a time where Shanahan called a timeout when he was upset, clearly, with his defensive coordinator. You could see him on the headset talking because he had his play sheet over his mouth, and he's talking while the 49ers are playing defense. Even though he's the offensive coordinator, he was telling Wilks, hey, what you're doing is not working. Patrick Mahomes is too good to just sit back and play a soft zone coverage. You need to mix it up. In the end, the Chiefs end up scoring with a field goal, not a touchdown. The game goes to overtime, and this is where I believe the game was lost. Okay? We didn't know this during the game. We find out after the game a ton of the 49ers players didn't even know the overtime rules. They didn't know. They didn't know both teams get the ball, no matter what. They didn't know that it's not the first team to score. A lot of the NFL analysts, a lot of the, was it Tony Romo and the other guy that were doing the game, they were saying how they'd rather be on defense first. And it makes sense. If you're going to get the ball anyway, why not go on defense first? You at least know what the other offense is going to do, and you know what you need to win the game. You need a field goal or you need a touchdown. San Francisco ends up kicking the field goal, getting the ball first because they won the toss and selected to take the ball. That was a huge mistake. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan fully understood the rules because it seemed like the rules were not relayed to the players. I mean, Kyle Juszczyk came out and said that he didn't know about the rules. Who were some of the other guys that came out and said they didn't know? I believe it was Kittle. I'm not sure about Purdy. But there were a couple other players that were like, yeah, we didn't realize that, you know, the rules had changed. And I'm like, how could you not know that the rules changed? They changed 2 years ago. The Chiefs, on the other hand, Patrick Mahomes said every day they talked about how the rules have changed in overtime. Every day they were reminded. They were reminded so much that they got sick and tired of hearing it. But it was like ingrained in them. That's called coaching. Okay? I don't know what kind of coaching they were doing over there in San Francisco. But you got to learn the rules to the game in order to know how to utilize them for your favor. I think that where the game was lost, man. Should San Francisco have went for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal, knowing that you got Patrick Mahomes, one of the baddest to ever do it in the NFL? Your guess is as good as mine. But ultimately, it was too much Patrick Mahomes, man. He found the holes in the defense. They made the plays. It hits Mecole Hardman in the end zone in the corner. Terrific play call. Putting him in motion, out leveraging the corner, the outside corner, and Mecole Hardman slips past the defense. The rest is history. The Kansas City Chiefs are back-to-back world champions. Congrats to them. Travis Kelce had a couple huge catches in that game. Mecole Hardman, obviously, he caught like a 40-yard pass early on, and then ends up catching the game-winning touchdown. He played a huge part in this game. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, they've been criticized for their lack of production for their receivers. Their receivers catch 2 touchdowns. It was like everything that we were criticizing the Chiefs for not being able to do during the regular season, they did in the Super Bowl when it mattered most. And I can't say the 49ers didn't play a good game because they played hard, they played tough. They lost Dre Greenlaw right before halftime. I thought that was a huge blow to their defense. Him paired up with Fred Warner, they were giving the Chiefs a lot of problems in that first half. It was tough to move the ball. But when Dre Greenlaw went out, you could see just more space for the Kansas City offense to operate in the middle and from sideline to sideline. So, that's my recap. 49ers come up short once again. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid prove that they have championship pedigree. And I think Patrick Mahomes is putting himself in that conversation for one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. And he's only 28 years old. Who knows how many more Super Bowls he's going to win, but he has 3 right now. So I got to give the young fella his props. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'll never ride the bandwagon, but I got to give the man respect. I got to give the man respect, man, for all that he does for that franchise. And that's why I even further think that the Atlanta Falcons need to trade up and get the guy that they target as the next signal caller for this franchise. Don't wait back. Don't sit back at 8 and try to let somebody fall to you. Don't settle for a guy in the 2nd or 3rd round if he's not your guy. Identify your guy and go get him. I don't care if you have to trade 3-4 draft picks. As long as you get the guy who's going to be the man. As long as you get him, who cares what you give up? Now you can build around this young man. You see what Kansas City did with him. And they did it with him when they had Alex Smith, who was having like the best year of his career. You don't ever stay complacent when you identify a generational talent at the quarterback position, because that changes the whole landscape of your franchise. So I'm hoping Terry Fontenot, scouting department, I'm hoping Raheem the Dream, Coach Heem, they can come to a consensus and find this guy. If it's Justin Fields, you trade for Justin Fields. If he's the guy you identified, get him. If it's Drake May, if it's Jaden Daniels, if it's Caleb Wood, whoever it is, let's go get him. I'm tired of getting the leftover quarterbacks trying to pinch pennies or trying to save draft picks, trying not to give up draft capital. I don't care about none of that. Let's go get our quarterback, y'all. It's your boy, Let's Pray. I hope you're having a blessed and prosperous day. That's my Super Bowl recap. Happy Monday. Tell those that you love while you can. I'll be back. We got, Combine coming up next. Combine soon. Got some more prospects that we can scout. And who knows? I think in a couple weeks, we've got free agency started. So we'll be back with some free agency things. We'll keep the content rolling weekly. So be on the lookout, y'all. Thank you for your support. Much love. Peace. Send them out.